You know what I love? I love when an athlete finds their sweet spot. Whether it's hitting that ball, riding that perfect wave, or just finding the right sport on the right team in the right position with the right coach. It's like a light comes on in their life, but there's something even better. And that's when we find our spiritual sweet spot. Now listen, the Apostle Paul said, Christ's love compels us. Christ's love compels us. Now that's our sweet spot. When we realize how much Christ loves us, and in that compelling action, we turn ourselves into a ministry. Now God can use anybody, and He can use you, and He can use me. Sports ministry might be your sweet spot. When you find the right ministry, the right team, and the right position with the right coach, then you're there. Maybe you'll find your passion and make sport your mission. I was in England speaking at an event called Spring Harvest. And after the talk, they asked me to give a seminar on sports ministry. So I'm in the seminar room waiting, and an old lady walks in. She was using a walker. And two guys over here laughed. I didn't like that too much, but I had to admit that I said to myself, I wonder if she's lost and she's looking for the Knitting for Jesus seminar. I said to myself, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was a great athlete from the 30s. She had a great smile, pretty face. I asked her to come and sit next to me. So she sat down. Now, I don't think I taught her much in that seminar, but I'll never forget what she taught me. I leaned over and I said, so it's your sport? And she laughed. She saw the humor immediately. She said, oh no, I'm not sporty at all. But I've got 2 grandchildren that are sportsmen, and they will not darken the doors of a church. So I've come here to learn the language of sport so I can reach out to those 2 boys. She found the sweet spot. She was compelled by Christ's love. She was compelled by the love of her grandchildren, and she was turned all that into action. She found her sweet spot. Do you feel compelled? Have you found your sweet spot? Some of my African colleagues love to say, when you run alone, you go fast, but when you run together, you go far. The ISC, the International Sports Coalition, wants you to go far. Now, the ISC is a collection of volunteers and sports ministry organizations whose experience helped churches and organizations to strategically transform communities. We do this through training, equipping, and connecting. And we usually do it through sport, and we usually do it one life at a time. One of my sports ministry friends, Xavier, lives in a very restricted area. He told me, in the areas I work, pastors and missionaries have been kicked out, but they begged me to come in and coach soccer to their kids. One Hindu mother came to me and said, Xavier, my son is happier, he's more respectful, and he's going back to school since he started playing on your team. Then she gave him a wry grin and she said, now what can you do with my husband? Sports ministry is strategic and effective in every area of the world. In our US-based website, intersport.org, we want to bring to your attention a number of different ways you can do sports ministry and possibly find your sweet spot. The website aims to do 3 things. First, we want to introduce you to a bunch of very cool resources developed by a bunch of very cool organizations. Secondly, here in the States, we are starting to develop city and state councils to better coordinate strategic areas of ministry. And lastly, we want to introduce you to some really inspiring sports ministry initiatives from around the world, which we can learn from and possibly even be a part of. What does sports ministry mean to you? The original word for competition meant to strive together. People doing sports ministry are not perfect, but we tend to work well together for the cause of Christ, to strive together. That is what the International Sports Coalition website is about, striving together for the cause of Christ. Sport has a vital way of touching the soul, and the soul is regarded by God as something infinitely worth saving. I hope the website introduces you to many possibilities. Whether it is sport or not, we want to help you make strategic connections to find your sweet spot and possibly make sport your mission.